welcome back to my channel, the Bronson Sky Library. Today is Christmas, so Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays to everyone who doesn't celebrate Christmas. So today is my birthday, Christmas Day, and I was planning on doing a video where I did my age and facts, and I'm turning 26 today, so I thought I would do, 26 facts, but I didn't come up with 26 facts, and I wanted this video to be a little bit more book content related, I guess. So that's not gonna happen, but just know, Merry Christmas and a happy birthday to me. So the video that I did want to do today is I wanted to suggest some underrated books to you guys, just a few of them, and some of them might not be super underrated, but we'll see. So yeah, that's what my video is for today, just some underrated books that I think you guys should read because they're good and I like them, so y'all should read what I read. Okay, so I guess we will just jump right on into the video. So the first book series that I wanted to talk to you about today is a middle grade. I know a lot of people don't really read middle grade nowadays, at least the people that I watch on BookTube or the people that I follow on Bookstagram and stuff. They rarely read middle grade, but I am a fan of middle grade. I find them to be super fun, and I find middle grade to be able to help me get out of reading slumps a lot because of how much fun they are. And they're quick, easy, simple books to read, so I thought it would be fun to share with you guys an underrated series, middle grade series, that I think is so good and that everyone should read. The series that I want to share with you guys today is by an author that is was one of my favorites when I was really young. He wrote the Fablehaven series, and the series that I want to talk to you about today is the Five Kingdoms series. And I think this is, oh my goodness, this is such a good series. So what this series is it's about this boy. On Halloween Day, he goes trick-or-treating with a bunch of his friends, and they end up going to this haunted house. And at this haunted house, he witnesses them getting kidnapped, and he doesn't get kidnapped, but he witnesses it. And these kids get kidnapped into this portal, and it takes them to this other world. And the main character witnesses this, and this other girl also witnesses it too. And so he tells this girl to go get help, tell either the police and parents that their kids were kidnapped. And so he goes and jumps through the portal to go after his friends to save them. But the thing about that is that the people back in our world, they forget about those who have gone through the portal. And so, unbeknownst to him, he's being forgotten by his parents, by his teachers, by his friends, by literally everybody. And so are all of his friends who got kidnapped into this portal. And so just that alone is super cool and super interesting to me. But also, the world that they get kidnapped into, the world has 5 different kingdoms, and each kingdom has a different magic system to it, and just different rules to each world. One of the worlds or kingdoms has flying castles in it, which is really cool. I think it's really cool. And one of the worlds is more science fiction-y kind of. It's more tech oriented. One of the worlds deals with time travel. It's so cool. Oh my gosh, it's a really good series, and it's really fun, and it's super quick, and it's super fast, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun. And I also really enjoy the end of this series. I think it's one of my all-time favorite endings to any book series ever, so I think you guys should all give this series a read. The ending is super bittersweet, but man, it's just so good. And I really enjoy it. Like, seriously, you guys should all read this book. Or these books. I mean, I even enjoyed them when I was age 22. Anybody can enjoy these. If you have kids, read them to your kids. I don't know. It's just so much fun. It's so much fun. Yeah, just read them. Okay. Now, on to the next one. So the next series that I wanted to talk to you guys about that I feel is very underrated is The Books of Bayern by Shannon Hale. I see hardly anybody talking about this series on BookTube or on Bookstagram, but I think a lot more people should read them and should talk about them because they are so good. They can be standalones almost because each book is a different character perspective. So in the first book, which would be The Goose Girl, that is Annie's character perspective. And then the second one is Enna, the third is Razzo, and then the fourth is Razzo's sister. And so they can all kind of be standalones, but they're also in a series. And I think that's really fun. And the first book especially is a fairy tale retelling, and it's based off of the fairy tale The Goose Girl, and I think it's really good. The book starts out with, so Annie, she's a princess, and I think she is supposed to go to another kingdom and become the prince's bride, and they're gonna rule. They're gonna be king and queen, I think. And so on their way there, Annie's first lady decides to take her place. So she just kind of exiles Annie into the forest, and Annie has to find her way back to the castle and find her way to that kingdom and get her rightful spot back. And I don't know, it's just really fun. And then the books, all of these books have characters that basically show up in the first book, except for the last book, which is it's Forestborn. That is based off of Razzo's sister. We don't meet Razzo's sister until the fourth book, but it's just, I don't know, this series is really fun. Some of them are darker than others, like Enna Burning is it's pretty dark, but it's really cool. And there's fantasy elements, because I know that in the first book, Annie, she knows how to talk to animals. I think that's what her gift is. I don't remember all that well, but I know that Annie, I think, talks to animals, and then Enna actually knows how to control fire. Oh, Annie also knows how to control wind, I believe, but she can also talk to animals. Anyway, so it's an elemental magic system, I believe, and it's really fun. And I know in the third book, someone's ability is to control water. Anyway, so it's just really fun, and I think you guys should read this series. Sorry, I'm really bad at explaining things. Oh, I will get better eventually. But okay, on to the next one. Okay, so the next book that I wanted to talk to you guys about isn't super underrated, but it is a book that's not talked about as much as this author's other books are, and that would be The Arithmetist by Brandon Sanderson. So this book is my all-time favorite book ever, and the reason behind that is that when I was in high school and junior high, I was in nothing but honors English classes and AP literature classes, or at least just in my senior year, I was in AP literature. And in those classes, you read nothing but classic novels. And while I enjoy classic novels, it's just, I was so burnt out. I was so burnt out reading classic novels and just reading in general because I wasn't loving it as much as I used to. And so I remember in my senior year of high school when I was in my AP Lit class, which is where we did the most reading of classic novels, I was so burnt out. And I remember I took a study hall class where we just had the hour to be able to do homework or other things like that. and if we didn't have homework to work on, we could go to the library and pick out a book to read, and so that's what I did. I didn't have any other homework besides probably reading a classic novel, but I instead went to the library and I saw the spine of this book on the shelf, and I was like, that spine looks cool. So I picked it out and I saw the title and I was like, that title looks cool too. And then I saw the cover, and I think the cover actually looks really cool. And so I was looking at it and I was like, hey, Brandon Sanderson. My family loves Brandon Sanderson. He's also the author who wrote Mistborn, the book that I tried to read when I was 12 but couldn't get into it because I was really young and not smart enough for it. And so I thought, well, I'm 18 now, so maybe I'll be smart enough for this one. Which I am, because it's a book that is very young. It's a YA as well. But I don't know, it's super fun. This book is really fun. It's about this boy who wants to be a arithmetist. And a arithmetist is someone who wields the magic of this world. And it's super cool. The magic is just a bunch of... The magic is where the arithmetist will take chalk and they draw with this chalk, and the chalk comes to life. They draw like lines and circles, and it's used as a defense and offense too in a war that's going on in this world. But there's these schools around the world where they teach and train these arithmetists. And in order to be a arithmetist, everyone goes through this process. It's kind of an orientation kind of thing. It's a baptism, as you will. But they go through this thing at the age of 8, and they come out on the other side, and they're given a piece of chalk, and when they draw with that chalk, if that chalk comes to life, then they're a arithmetist. If it doesn't, then they're not a arithmetist. And the main character, Joel, on the day that he was supposed to go through this little ritual thing, orientation thing, his father died, I think, and so he wasn't able to make it, so he was late, but they allowed him to do it the day after, even though technically you're not supposed to. And when he came out on the other side, he wasn't arithmetist, and it bumped him out so much. But he goes to a school where there's these arithmetists and also normal kids. And in this book, there's a kidnapping of arithmetist students, and Joel ends up being kind of a detective to find out what happens to these kids in this book. And I don't know, it's just really fun. Unfortunately, it's supposed to be a series, and the second book has not been written yet, and I am very sad about that. Like, I am extremely sad about it, because Brandon Sanderson really needs to figure his ish out. I want the second one, okay? Brandon, just write it. Please. Anyway, this book is super fun, and I think everyone should read it, and it should be talked about a lot more than all of Brandon Sanderson's other works, because it's just so good. Anyway, yeah, you guys should just read it. Just read it. It's so good. I love it. Just read it. Okay, so the next series that I wanted to talk about is more of an honorable mention, because I am still reading it, and also because it does get a lot more notice than some of the other ones that I've mentioned. But that would be the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. I haven't finished it yet, and once I do, I will definitely give you guys a full, a whole series review on that. But it's a really good series so far. I definitely have some nitpicks with it, but it's really good. It's good, and I think everybody should read it. But it kind of falls into that classic fantasy vibe, and it's good. It's about a god war, and y'all should read it. Just read it. It's kind of slow at first, but it picks up, and each book I think gets better and better. And I don't know. It's kind of like a slow burn series, but it's adult fantasy. If you guys want to give it a try, go for it. And yeah, so that's my honorable mention, and those series are the series that I think you guys should read. So that concludes the end of my video. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas, and happy holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. Yeah, just take care. If you want to, you can subscribe, and you can also follow my Bookstagram account if you want. I also have a Twitter if you want to follow that as well. Don't really get on it very often, but I do have it. And yeah, again, Merry Christmas, everybody. And look at my cats. Do you like my kitties? Anyway, just have a wonderful day. Alright, bye!